Nancy Drew, Weirdness at Waverly Academy. A story by Arglefumph. Chapter 33, Darts. Nancy was talking with Leela Yadav. Leela was upset about her roommate, Izzy Romero. If Nancy had to be honest, though, she would say that none of the girls at Waverly seemed to make good roommates. Izzy stole boyfriends, Mel gave out her roommate's cell phone number to strangers, and Corinne liked to force her roommate into doing her homework. Really, the only valedictorian who hadn't yet been disqualified from winning Roommate of the Year was Rachel Hubbard, and that was because Rachel was in a single room. Anyway, enough about that backstabbing traitor, Lila said. What's up? I wanted to see if you got that picture of Megan Vargas for me, Nancy said. Yeah, I got it right here, Lila said, but the only way you're getting it is by beating me at Scram. Another game, I bet, Nancy said. This one is a dart game, Leela said. One person is the blocker, while the other is the scorer. The blocker's role is to take numbers off the board and... Nancy zoned out while Leela explained how the game worked. Instead of listening to the sports enthusiast, Nancy tried working out the plot for the latest mystery novel she was writing. It was partially based off a case she solved in Detroit, where the culprit was smuggling diamonds inside the teddy bears at a zoo's gift shop. And that's all there is to it, Leela finished. Any questions? Yeah, Nancy said. Why is the dartboard so close to the stairs? If someone was coming down the stairs, they could get hit by a dart and they'd never see it coming. You'd have to have really bad aim to miss the dartboard by that much, Leela said dismissively. If you say so, Nancy said. Okay, let's get started. Nancy grabbed a dart and swung her arm around a few times to build up speed. Becca, it's not a softball, Leela said. Bullseye, Nancy said, letting go of the dart. The dart flew straight upwards and got embedded in the ceiling. Whoops, Nancy said. Let me try again. Nancy's next throw landed in a plant, and the throw after that somehow went behind her and into the snack shack area. On second thought, let's forget about darts, Leela said. It's too dangerous anyway. Let me get that picture. While Leela's back was turned, Nancy threw her last remaining dart at the board and got a bullseye. Nancy smiled to herself. All that dart playing at Castle Malloy had given Nancy good aim, but she knew it'd be easier to pretend she couldn't play darts at all. Leela got the picture out of her bag, then handed it to Nancy. Here's that picture of Megan you wanted, Leela said. Thanks, Nancy said. Looks like I'll have to take a picture of a picture. So Nancy took out her cell phone, and that's just what she did. Chapter 34. Nancy Solves the Mystery. Did you hear that a book of Edgar Allan Poe stories went missing from the library? Nancy asked. No, Leela said. Yeah, me neither, Nancy said, slightly confused as to where she learned a library book was missing. Suddenly, Nancy Drew was struck by a burst of inspiration which contained the solution to the entire mystery. That's it, Nancy said. Edgar Allan Poe! He's the key to this mystery! What? Leela asked. I just thought up a theory about Edgar Allan Poe, Nancy said. What if he wrote a book of unpublished stories? That doesn't make sense, Leela said. You can't write a book of unpublished stories. If the stories are in a book, that means they're published. Well, fine, maybe they're published unpublished stories, Nancy said. Either way, nobody knew about this book, right? And when he was dying, Mr. Poe gave the book to a nurse at the hospital. Why did he do that? Leela asked. Not important, Nancy said. The important thing is that Nurse Hallowell was so inspired by Mr. Poe that she quit her job and decided to go into education. She was one of the founders of Waverly Academy. I'm confused, Leela said. Is this story real or something you made up? Not important, Nancy said. Rita Hallowell knew that the unpublished book couldn't be found, or someone bad would try to publish it, so she decided to hide the book somewhere inside Waverly Academy. There's a book of Edgar Allan Poe stories hidden here at Waverly? Leela asked. But it's well protected by a series of puzzles, Nancy said, like A giant pendulum that hangs from the ceiling and cuts someone in half if they try to read it. And a secret society with a spooky chant that corresponds to numbers on old blueprints. Becca, maybe you should lie down for a bit, Leela said. You sound odd. I'm just saying, Nancy said. What if there's something valuable hidden at Waverly Academy? Something like a lost Edgar Allan Poe book. And that's what the Black Cat is after. If that's true, then why is the Black Cat attacking valedictorian candidates? Leela asked. Well, she wants to get rid of the valedictorians because... Nancy tried to think of a reason. They might interrupt her while she is looking for the hidden treasure? The Black Cat is attacking people because they might interrupt her? Leela asked. That's a pretty flimsy reason to send someone to the hospital. Nancy had to admit Leela had a point. Besides, did you forget it's midterm study break? Leela asked. People are so busy that they barely have time to leave their rooms. If you wanted to look for something without being interrupted, now would be the perfect time. Well, true, Nancy said. I'm sorry, Becca, but that's the dumbest idea I ever heard, Leela said. The Black Cat is attacking valedictorians because she wants to be valedictorian, not because she's trying to find a lost book of stories. Oh, Nancy said sadly, and she was so sure that she had the mystery solved, too. Guess I'd better go then. Hang in there, Leela said, and next time actually think things through before playing detective. Chapter 35, Uploading the Photos. Nancy sadly walked away from the rec room. Nancy thought she had the mystery all solved, but Leela proved that Nancy's theory was rather stupid. Maybe I'm not such a great detective after all, Nancy thought. After all, I'm not even close to figuring out who the Black Cat is. All I've done so far is take pictures for Rachel. Her mind full of sad thoughts, Nancy went to the school computer in the library and logged on. The home page reminded her that she still hadn't done snack shop duty yet, and that the book of Edgar Allan Poe stories was still missing from the library. More failures, Nancy thought. Nancy knew she had to upload the pictures to the website for Rachel's project, but she wasn't sure where to upload them. After all, over half the pages on the website were down due to scheduled website maintenance. The About Us section didn't seem too useful, and neither did the Library page section. Nancy clicked on Student Life. This part of the website was home to the Campus Word, which appeared to be some kind of news article. The article was about the albino squirrel who had stolen a Starburst token from Nancy earlier. Apparently, the squirrel was called Casper, and there was some concern that the squirrel wouldn't be able to collect enough nuts for the winter. Izzy Romero, the author of the article, proclaimed that her efforts had saved the squirrel from starvation. That thieving squirrel needs to be locked up, not fed extra food, Nancy thought. The Student Life part of the website was also home to the Student Handbook, Yawn, Security Blotter, someone broke into their room using a student ID card, and Double Take. Double Take was a very simple matching game, and according to the Student Handbook, you got credits if you received a new high score on the game. They give credits for playing games at this school? Nancy wondered. I want to transfer here. There was no time for playing games, though. Nancy still had to upload the pictures for Rachel. She double-checked the piece of paper Rachel gave her, which she had forgotten to drop off in her room. The paper said that the pictures had to go in the valedictorian race section of the academics website. Nancy plugged her phone into the computer's USB port, then opened up the proper website. She uploaded all 6 photos. She sighed, then crossed "Upload the photos for Rachel's project" off her to-do list. Nancy got up and left the library, still feeling bad that she had made no progress in solving the mystery. Nancy was so depressed that she couldn't even cheer herself up with one of Becca Sawyer's sassy one-liners. Waverly Academy? More like Waverly Abademy, Nancy thought. Because I'm bad at solving this mystery. Chapter 36. Friends? Nancy went upstairs and into Rachel Hubbard's room. Hey, you got everyone's picture uploaded, Rachel said. Sure did, Nancy said. Fab, now I need you to do the layout for me, Rachel said. Just log on to the computer again and go back to the Meet the Candidate section. There will be instructions on where to put everything. Put everything? Nancy asked. I thought I just had to take the photos of everyone. And now you have to put them in the right places, Rachel said, tucking her hair behind her ear. I'll check the page when you're done to make sure everything's kosher. I guess I can do that, Nancy said. It was starting to look like Rachel didn't want Nancy to help with some of the project. It was more like Rachel wanted Nancy to finish the entire project. Rachel must have picked up on Nancy's reticence, because she quickly added, In case I forgot to say it before, I'm really grateful for your help. Maybe someday I can return the favor. Don't worry about it, Nancy said. It'll be nice just having you as a friend. Rachel stared at Nancy, confused. Right, Rachel said shortly. You do know what friends are, right? Nancy asked. Of course I do, Rachel said. It's just, never mind, it doesn't matter. You're not going to make friends with that attitude, Nancy said. I mean, earlier you were avoiding Mel. What's up with that? Nothing, Rachel said. I'm really busy right now, Becca. I can't talk anymore. Busy doing, Nancy began to say. Please, maybe later? Rachel asked. Nancy frowned. Fine, she said. She turned and left Rachel's room. Rachel is definitely hiding something, Nancy thought, and I'm going to prove I'm a good detective by figuring out what it is.